Hey, Cubs fans, and welcome to another edition of Cubs on Tap. I am your host, Nick, joined by my co host, Rich. We are coming to you after a Cubs W. We're very excited to talk about it, bouncing back after a rough one yesterday. But before we get into it, how you doing, Rich?
Fantastic. The Cubs hit 4 home runs today, put up an 8 spot against tough Phillies, tough Phillies team in general, not just lineup, but team. They needed this one after that, like you said, that rough walk-off loss yesterday. Evened up this series, gave them a chance to win the series tomorrow. Definitely needed. Yeah, I'm excited. It was a
Yep.
fun game. There was a lot of lead changes, a lot of back and forth, but this is like a quintessential 2025 Cubs game. They battled the offense, got it done. They strung together a lot of runs, and yeah, hit a bunch of dingers. It was fun. It was a good game.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. And needed is the key word there. I for sure agree with you. They needed this one. It was a rough one yesterday. The offense looked dead, outscored by double digits there in hits. Tonight, they put up double digits in hits. And like you said, it was just a quintessential 2025 Cubs game. They go back and forth, but then they get that kill shot there in the eighth, if you will. They looked good, and I'm excited to get into this one. As you said, they had some home runs. They were using the home run strategy, but that wasn't all they did. They had some great defensive plays as well. Just an all-around good baseball game. I'm excited to talk about it. Just right off the bat, what stood out to you? What was the difference tonight between last night and just, plate appearances, offense, all around how they looked?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think the main difference is it's so much easier when you don't have to face a guy like Zach Wheeler. I mean, that helped a lot. I mean, I don't know. I think about it. The Cubs did score a home run early against Wheeler, but that was kind of it. And then it was like 7 innings of just getting shut out
Yeah.
by an ace. Um, like yesterday, though, they kind of scored early. Dansby Swanson hit a home run in the second. And then there was a little bit of back and forth. Kepler hit a 2-run homer to take the lead, but then Happ came right back and tied the game. So they were kind of able to score runs throughout, unlike yesterday, which kept them in the game. And then after they bounced Mick Abel, who's like a rookie starter for the Phillies, I believe, they got to the Phillies bullpen, which has been a weakness for this Philadelphia team. I think they're bottom third in ERA, bullpen ERA this year. So that was a big key as well, making sure that they were able to score a lot of runs against the bullpen. I think Joe Ross got tagged for 3 earned runs in the 8th there. So that was a big help, not having to face Zach Wheeler, the
Yeah.
5th ace that the Cubs have had to face over the
Yep.
last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
And there's
exactly.
another one coming, Paul Skeens.
Yeah, exactly. This road trip, they've faced some, pretty good pitchers, and I feel like they've been able to hang with them. Just a few times they've just come up short. Yesterday was one of those times I thought that they definitely should have been able to steal that one. I didn't think they deserved to win it. I think a lot of Cubs fans would agree that I don't think they deserved to win that one, but they certainly should have stolen it. Nonetheless, they did deploy the home run strategy, the multiple home run strategy tonight. And that was great to see the ball going over the fence rather than the warning track power. And for me, I think that was the biggest difference. You had Dansby Swanson, of all guys, kicking it off after that rough plate appearance that he left off last night with. So turn the page. That's exactly what you want to see out of a veteran like that. And I think that really set the tone for the game, and it gave the Cubs gave them their formula to go ahead and go out there and just try to beat on them and win against, a pretty good Phillies team right now. And as you said, they didn't have their greatest stuff out of the bullpen. The Cubs were able to get to them there, but that's what good teams do. They exploit the weaknesses, and it certainly showed tonight. But overall, I mean, I was really shocked too by the fact that they just seemed like the plate appearances to me is kind of what struck me as a big difference. Is they seem to have been taking a lot more pitches, being a little bit more selective than they were last night, not, grounding out balls as much as they were, waiting for that pitch, maybe having more of a plan up there. Do you think that just coming into the second game, they were able to settle in a little bit more as well.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody did except for P. Crow Armstrong. You know,
Yeah.
those good contributions from the entire lineup. Everybody got a hit except for PCA, which was unfortunate. He kind of got off on the wrong foot, grounding into a double play in the first. But
Yep.
I think he only saw like a handful of pitches all day. Like I remember him swinging on like the first and second pitch a lot today, which PCA going to be doing stuff like that. He's an aggressive cat, but yeah, no, everybody else kind of it worked the count well against McCable. Ian Happ obviously was the big contributor. Um, 2 home runs today and 2 walks as well. Looking like Kyle Schwarber out there, walks and home runs. I love it.
Yep.
But yeah, man, that was kind of the highlight was Ian Happ today.
Yeah.
Which obviously love to see. He was getting a lot of flack on the interwebs in the last I don't know, month plus for his prolonged slump, I guess. I don't know. I don't even want to call it a slump. He was still walking a lot and seeing a lot of
Sure.
and doing what he's supposed to be doing, right? He just wasn't hitting home runs, which when you have guys like PCA and Seiya Suzuki and Michael Busch hitting home runs, not a huge deal. But
Yeah.
we knew, we talked about it last time. We knew his power was going to come around, right? Like he tends to hit better when the summer months come. And I was looking at his career splits earlier. August and September is when he hits the home runs, most home runs anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
best is yet to come on that front, I think. But nice to see him collect a couple of dingers today and 4 over his last 10 days. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come. That would be nice.
Yeah, it would be great to have him get going with the long ball as well. And like you said, yesterday he had 1, 2 today, look completely different. And what people have to remember is he's coming off of an injury too, so he's starting to probably feel 100% again too, and that plays a big part in just how things are going to go, especially with power. You do something like that with an injury, you're going to lack power there. So seems like he's starting to really feel himself come back into shape for regular Ian Happ and hitting the opposite field and everything like that. So, I'm excited. And like you said, it's just all the more great because you have other guys like Bush and PCA and Tucker and Suzuki that are all getting you extra base hits. So to have another guy like Ian Happ to roll that lineup over and continue the punishment, if you will, I mean, it's just a great thing. And for tonight, when you have a short start from a guy like Ray, it was really a breath of fresh air to see the offense kind of pick him up and be like, well, he gave up 4 earned runs, but we're gonna have your back here. We're gonna go ahead and score and put that behind us. And the bullpen did a really good job as well. But
Yeah.
what have you seen out of Ray? I know you're a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried as well. Obviously, he's been pitching out of his mind for what he is, but
Yeah.
it looks like he's kind of coming down to earth here. What are you seeing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the last, let's say, 4 games, it's been a little worrisome. Didn't even make it into the 5th or make it past the 5th inning today. Through 5 full innings, 4 earned runs, 7 hits, no walks, but gave up a dinger to Max Kepler. It's just you want to see him at least get through 5 innings, right? Like that. I know it's a tall task. He was on the road against the Phillies, and the Phillies lineup is pretty tough, right? But like we were saying a little bit before, the bullpen is getting used quite a bit. Especially if Ben Brown doesn't pitch well, and Ray also doesn't pitch well. You're using a lot of guys. They were forced to use 5 bullpen guys today, I believe. And that's you can't be doing that every 5th day, especially when you're on this stretch here where there's only 1 off day until the end of June. They're going to need to save their guys, and Ray needs to be a little bit better, in my opinion. He gave up 6 earned runs in back-to-back starts against the Reds a couple weeks ago. I'm not saying he needs to be that guy he was when they first put him in the rotation. It's unrealistic to expect that from him, but just need a little bit more length from him than 4 1/3. You know what I mean? That's just
Yeah.
it's not going to get it done.
I
You know,
agree.
I'm not calling for his head or anything, but you know, uh, the other part about this is the roster situation. I don't know if you want to get into that. We were talking about that a little bit before when, you know,
Sure.
Shota Imanaga comes back. It's like there's not many options for who you're going to move out, and Ray kind of isn't one of them because there's only two guys on this pitching staff on the active roster who have minor league options, and it's Ben Brown and Cade Horton. So when Imanaga comes back, one of those guys is going to have to go down to AAA. Right now, it's looking like it's probably going to be Cade Horton, but you know that could change over the next couple weeks. You can't really put Colin Ray into the bullpen because nobody in the bullpen right now has any minor league options. And who are you going to get rid of, right? Like
Yep.
you've just signed Cabrera to a major league contract, and everybody else is pitching really well. Who do you get
Yep.
rid of? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a very hard question to answer, almost an impossible one because the bullpen, I mean, overall, they're all pitching well, you know? I don't have an answer to that. I don't have anyone that I would get rid of right now. Asked me that 2 months ago. I know exactly, like
Right.
they were really struggling before and they've been lights out. I mean, I've heard some stats that just blow my mind on this bullpen. So that's a good point. I mean, the roster is not playing out for just being able to put Ray in the bullpen and then keeping both Brown and Horton in there. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So Ray kind of needs to give you more. I think that just quality starts would be a good aim. Just try to get innings, like you said, to preserve the burnout of the bullpen. But you're right. I mean, it's a recipe for disaster using 5 guys every fifth
Yeah.
day. Like that's just not going to work. It's going to come back to bite you. And quite frankly, the bullpen's not going to continue to pitch like that if you're going to keep using that many arms and putting that much stress on them. And you've gotten pretty lucky with guys like Flexen right now, and Pomerantz hasn't, knock on wood, given up a run, which is unbelievable. So
And
it's
Ray can do that. Like he can give you
yeah.
length. He pitched 167 innings for the
Mm-hmm.
Brewers last year. So he can do that. He needs to. He needs to for the
Yeah.
Cubs, man. Like that's that's just it, man.
Yeah.
Until the trade deadline at least, until they
Yeah.
can get another workhorse in there. But
I
yeah, I
was
mean
gonna say,
using Keller as much as they're doing, like it's not going to sustain itself. We discussed that before the show started. He's on pace for like 70 plus innings pitched this year. That's crazy. That's a
yep,
lot.
that's crazy. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. And when you have a guy like Ray that can go so many innings, there comes a time when you have to kind of weigh out your options. If he is giving up a lot of runs, well, maybe you just keep him out there to preserve the bullpen. If your offense is performing on a day like that, hopefully the offense can kind of bail them out in the situation where they don't have to be so reliant on the pitchers. Today it was a back and forth game, so you had to keep
Yeah.
going to that bullpen, keeping it close and making sure that you were within striking distance. And obviously they're able to finish it off in the 8th, but it's just like you said, it's just not a good recipe at all. And it's got to be fixed. And hopefully, Ray can bounce back. When you do have those great starts like that and then a couple clunkers, you can always lean back on what you had before. And hopefully he can do that and maybe, take what he was using to be successful in those outings. And yeah, I'm just hoping that he can turn things around. But I mean, overall in this game, I was very happy with just how the offense had bailed him out because
Yeah.
when you have a starter that only goes 4 1/3, I believe, I mean, it could really be bad. So they were able to bail him out. Bullpen was nails straight through. And yeah, I mean, it's overall good. But Hank actually brings up something in the comments that I wanted to talk about here. That's Matt Shaw's glove. I mean, crazy. He has been making some plays out there that have just been awesome and great to see. And, he's not lightning on fire with the bat, but we said that all he had to do was be serviceable and to be an option, such a good defensive option at third base. It's such a difference than what we saw when he wasn't up here, when you were platooning guys back and forth. You got Birdie, you got, errors left and right, and you lost a couple games based off of those
Gage
errors.
Workman.
Yeah, Workman. I mean, there's plenty of guys that you can go through. Vidal Brujan. So it's just awesome to see that you got a solid hot corner now, because that's such an important position. And we saw early on how you can lose games there, and you got to give Shaw flowers there. He's looked great.
I mean, I'm very comfortable when like sharp ground ball gets hit to third base now. It's like just remember a year ago when Christopher Morel had to field ground balls like that, and you're just like, I clenched my teeth a lot of the time because I'm like, oh man, even if he fields it, I feel like he's gonna throw it away half the time. It's just a lot more comfortable with Shaw there. His defense is like blowing away my expectations. Like you're saying, like if he could just make the routine plays, that would be perfectly fine. But over these last few, since coming back from AAA, he's made like 6 or 7 incredible plays at third base, and another one tonight where the ball took like a high chop and he had to field it barehanded and just threw an absolute rocket to first base. It was crazy. I did not think he could get the ball out quick enough or even throw it that hard. It was insane. And it was a strike, obviously, to Michael Busch, who also had like a look of like, holy crap on his face when he caught it. I was like, man, that was one of the better ones, man. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's been a few that I've just been like taken back by, and I have to take a second look. And there's been a few times when I'm catching myself looking at replays. I'm just like, so fun to watch him over there, and to see like a young guy like that doing so well. And I know the bat's going to come eventually. I really do. I think that it's going to come around for him again. But it's exactly what the doctor ordered. We were talking over and over on these shows about third base, third base, third base, third base. And it was getting scary because we were even saying, this is something you're going to probably have to address at the deadline. And that's a big deal.
Yeah. I'm
really
glad we don't have to.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like if you had to address that, it takes away a lot of options that you can be doing. And now that you can do, because you have such a solid option at third base in Matt Shaw that came right back up from Iowa, credit to him for putting in the work and getting himself into a position to come right back up. And credit to the Cubs for sending him down and knowing exactly what he needed to work on and to get him strong enough to come back up and really perform. Because early on, I was really worried about him. I was actually shocked the way it all turned out, because I thought he was going to have a lot better right out of the gate. But that happens sometimes. And kudos for the Cubs for recognizing it and doing that and being so quick on it, putting themselves into a position to figure that out early on, because now we're talking straight pitching at the deadline. I mean, like you said, workhorse. You need a guy that's going to prevent the burnout in this bullpen. It's 162 games. It's a long stretch and a lot can happen. So now you are in a great position for that. So I just thought we definitely would want to touch on Matt Shaw because he's been great. Defense, just awesome. I'm just so happy with it.
Outstanding. And his bat hasn't been like awful. He's got 9 hits in June. 3 of them extra base hits. I would like to see him take a little bit more walks. That'd be nice. He doesn't have any walks in the month of June yet. But he has the plate discipline to do that. He takes a lot of pitches in his at bats, I feel like. But yeah, if he can give you anything on offense, it's fine. It's like icing on the cake almost, because the defensive floor that he's given you is just kind of completes the, I don't know. I don't want to say all Gold Glove defense around the field, but there's a hell of a lot of it. So if he can give you anything on offense, that's great.
Yeah, and I agree with you. He needs to take more walks. Another thing on the opposite side of things is he can't let so many cookies go by. I mean, I've seen him take a lot of really hittable pitches for himself, and you got to be aggressive on those pitches too, and then not swing out of the zone, because it's such a bad sequence when you see a really good pitch, really hittable pitch, and then you swing at one that's really out of the zone. You're immediately in an 0-2 hole. And it's just not a good place to be in as a hitter. But I'm happy overall with Matt Shaw. There's really no complaints. And like you said, the bat really hasn't been that terrible. So he'll come around. I really think he's going to have a hot stretch coming up here. But one guy that I'm really looking, I got my eyeglass on, very close magnifying glass, is PCA for tomorrow. I really think that when he has these 0 for 5 days, he comes out screaming.
You already
So,
preloaded your dinger pick for tomorrow.
yep. Spoiler alert again. PCA dinger pick. Let's go. He's going yard twice tomorrow to make up for the 0 for 5 today.
Don't look now, but I have back-to-back dinger pits hit in the last 2 days.
You do.
I'm
Yep.
liking this Philly series. You know.
Yep. I've been on a little cold, a little drought, but we're gonna bounce back with PCA here tomorrow. I really do think that he's gonna come out screaming. Those 0 for 5 days are very rare for him, but when he does have those, he seems to really lock in the next day. So I'm going to take advantage of that. One last guy I want to bring up, just offensive side, quietly. Would you believe if I said that Michael Busch has a higher OPS than Seiya Suzuki?
That's true? Oh,
I
wow.
believe so.
Oh my God. Yeah, apparently not. I don't believe it. That's crazy. Yeah, man. Michael Busch has been, I mean, like you said, quietly just been
Quiet.
had such a nice floor on the offense and defense, obviously too. But yeah, man, already has 11 home runs, 39 ribbies on the year, taking a lot of walks too, 26
Mm-hmm.
walks. I mean, 873 OPS, that'll get it done.
Yep.
I love that.
Seiya at 870. So it's a little bit of a, it's close, but it works for my argument there.
I like it.
The power's there, though. The power is there for Busch, and he's just shown that he can do it all too. He takes the ball the other way. He's very good situationally too. When you know that you don't need to just murder the ball, but maybe just get it to the outfield to score in a run, like he does that, and it's a rare thing in a young guy like that. It's something that I wish PCA would just do a little bit more of, is take a page out of Michael Busch's book and kind of be more situational. I'm not no means disrespecting PCA. I mean, keep doing what you're doing, but in those situations where you just need to get the ball into play rather than trying to get the ball out of the park, Busch is really good at doing that. And there's a couple of guys on this team like Horner and even Swanson at times can do that type of situational hitting. And Busch has really just shown that he's able to do that. So, but while still quietly sporting an 873 OPS, like you said, that'll get it done for sure, especially with, where he bats in the lineup.
Near Gold Glove defense as well.
Yep.
He's improving on defense like as time goes on. Still a pre-arb player. They has 4 years of team control left after this year.
Wow.
I mean, we got a lot of years of Michael Busch manning first base, and it's been
Beautiful.
awesome because obviously before they traded for him, it was like a merry-go-round of just awful at that position, and he solidified it instantly, basically, when they traded for him. So, I mean, I'm thinking of the Eric Hosmers and the Trey Mancinis and the Frank Schwindells of the world. I mean, it was some comical stuff at times, and you're just like, man, are we ever going to have a first baseman again?
Yep.
You had me being like, man, we should have just not traded Rizzo.
Same here. That's exactly how I felt. I mean, there were some dark days over there at first base, and to just be solid, the infield's looking really good just overall, and the outfield too. I mean, this team is just looking like an all around very solid team. And if you are able to just have a really good deadline, you're putting yourself into a position to go deep and compete with some good teams. And they've had their opportunities this road trip to kind of showcase how they're going to be against some of the best teams. And, Cubs Twitter, God, insufferable.
Yeah.
You would think
have to
that
take it, or you're going to lose your brain.
Yeah, you would think that they're in third place the way they sound. They really haven't done that bad against good teams at all. If you look really deep into it, they haven't. they've been right there with them. And even me and Joey the other day talking about the Tariq Skubal game, they were right there. I mean,
Yeah.
they had an opportunity to win that one. They weren't getting blown out. It wasn't like they had a lot of hits against him too. Like they did good against him. They hit well against him compared to other teams. So
It's only a
the
3-1
alarm bells.
loss. That was only a 2-0 loss to Mackenzie Gore.
Exactly.
3-4 yesterday. Obviously, went into extra innings against Zach Wheeler. Like it's not like they're getting blown out.
No.
And that's that's what you like to see. They're in every game basically, and they're giving themselves chances to win. And that's all you can ask for, right? It's a 162 game season. Like it's all everybody chill the f out when they're facing like literally the best in the game. Like they're holding their own and they're giving themselves chances to win in those games. So
Yeah.
and speaking of that, they have a chance to win a series against the Phillies tomorrow. And if they do that, they will have a winning record on a tough road trip where they had to face the best team in baseball and arguably the best pitcher in baseball. Three of the best pitchers in baseball. So that will, you have a chance. You've given yourself a chance to do that. And that's what good teams do.
Exactly. They're avoiding sweeps, completely avoiding them. So it's huge. And great segue. Quick turnaround for tomorrow. They play at 12:05 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
And
I'll be
they're
eating my
going
cheeseburger for lunch while I'm watching that game.
Exactly. And I will be too. They'll be going against Jesus Luzardo, who you hear the name. If you haven't been keeping up too much with him, you think, oh, Jesus Luzardo, he's pretty good. But as you were saying, Rich, he's been struggling lately, and you have an opportunity to jump all over him and continue the downward momentum that he's been experiencing. Do you have some background?
It's weird because like Luzardo was an offseason target for the Cubs. They had a trade in place to acquire him from the Marlins, and it kind of fell through because of his medicals, I think, was what the rumors and what the reports were at the time. And then it kind of looked bad for the Cubs. Like, I don't know, the first couple months of the season here, he had like a sub-3 ERA and was pitching well for the Phillies. But all of a sudden, his last two starts have been pretty atrocious. I mean, May 31st against Milwaukee, 3 1/3, 12 hits and 12 earned runs, 3 walks. That's really bad. June 5th against Toronto, his last start, 2 1/3, 8 earned runs, 9 hits. Like what?
Yikes.
I don't know what happened to him, but he doesn't have it these last 2 starts, and it's been, like I said, atrocious. So that's what he's coming off of. He does not have momentum going into this rubber match against one of the best offenses in baseball. So I like the Cubs' chances. Obviously, don't let him get into a groove because we have seen him do well earlier in this season. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. If it's a mental thing or a physical thing, like if it was a physical thing, he wouldn't be starting. So I don't know what is up. But
Yeah. And guys like that are struggling, you got to be really careful with because they're going to eventually bounce back and have a really good game. And we've seen that earlier in the season with guys that on paper you think, well, they're doing really bad, and then all of a sudden they do really good, and it's just a matter of time.
Trapped.
And it's a trap game, especially when you see who's on the mound for the Cubs, where you kind of. Ben Brown is going, and
which version of Ben Brown are we going to get?
Exactly. He has been good in the last couple starts. He looked really good when they used an opener for him. But which version are you going to get? Is he going to be able to spot that fastball, set up the breaking ball? Is he going to be wild? Is he going to? Sometimes his pitches are flat, and when they are flat, it looks like a beach ball to the other guys. Like,
I don't know why I can't get this image out of my head of just Kyle Schwarber hitting an absolute freaking tank off of Ben Brown tomorrow.
Oh man, that's a curse, Rich. You just cursed it.
I don't want it to happen, but
I don't want it. We're gonna have to clip that now if Schwarber hits a bomb against him.
It's
very possible.
I'm having this premonition in my head of just
If he's flat, man, those pitches they
It's
they
not gonna be
tee
good.
off on him. But the whole thing with Ben Brown is if he's not flat and he's got the tail on the fastball and he's setting up that breaking ball, he's filthy, and he can really set some guys down and get into a groove of his own. And I think that if you do get that type of Ben Brown start and the Cubs can put up 4 or 5, you can easily take this one.
Yeah.
But if you're going to get a bad Ben Brown, then the offense is really going to have to work and really have to grind some plate appearances out and put up some crooked numbers and try to just win this one for them.
And we've been relatively lucky with this Phillies lineup. Schwarber has
Mm-hmm.
not hit a home run. He had 3 walks yesterday, but no home runs for Schwarber. Bryce Harper is hurt and hasn't been in the lineup, which is a godsend because I feel like I didn't even realize that until today. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot Bryce Harper's on the seat. It's just like the lineup is so
Yeah,
deep. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
it is.
Freaking Turner, Schwarber, Alec Bohm, Castellanos, Real Muto has been kind of a pain. He had 2 hits yesterday. He had a couple more today. Man,
Real Muto is always a pain against the Cubs. I mean,
I
he's
know.
an almost certified Cubs killer right there. So, I mean, you're
Gosh.
right, and we have gotten lucky with this Phillies lineup, and you gotta hope that the ball doesn't drop tomorrow, where they do just go off. But the Cubs have a chance to really play a solid game and take this series, and that would be a really, really big win. Like you said, it would create a winning road trip, really get some momentum going into your homestand, and it would be a big success if you went on this long road trip and you were able to get the win on overall. Like, I think that would just be really big for their confidence. And
Yeah.
sadly, the Fugazi Cardinals just continue to hang around, but they're gonna
Not
fall
buying it.
off soon.
Not buying it. They're on 3-game losing streak right now. Not
Yep,
buying it.
it's gonna continue because
Even though
they're
the
the
Dodgers let
Fugazi
them
Cardinals.
take 2 out of 3 against them, because of course they
Dodgers,
did. Fuck the
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Yeah,
Dodgers are
fuck the
annoying.
Dodgers. The Dodgers suck. We're better than the Dodgers. I hope we
Dodgers
get to face them in the playoffs and embarrass them.
the Dodgers and their 50 injured pitchers.
Exactly. Well, that's what we said when the season started. We're like, the pitching for the Dodgers. You can look at their lineup and go, oh, but the pitching, it's not going to hold up, and it
Yeah.
hasn't. They haven't looked that good, and the Cardinals just got lucky there. They're still the Fugazi Cardinals. They suck.
Okay, easy. Yeah, I mean, win tomorrow and then 4 games against the Pirates, 3 against Milwaukee, and 3 against Seattle at home. That's a nice homestand. I like that. I
It
like
is.
I like a nice 3 out of 4 against the Pirates. You'll probably lose the Skeens game, although Cubs seem to. I don't know if this is actually true, but the last time they definitely got the Skeens.
Yep.
Um,
And the first time when he made his debut, they got the Skeens.
yeah, Miles
So,
Mastrobuoni got 2 hits against
yeah.
and Nico Horner hit a home run. I'll never forget that
He
game.
did. Yeah,
That
I'll
was just
never forget
wild.
that. It was a wild
The
game.
2
I'll never forget that one either. That's one of those games where you know exactly where you were. I was at a
Yeah.
local wing stand, Jexel's, and I was like, "Holy crap! I can't believe this is all happening." But yeah, I'm pretty confident with the Paul Skeens game. I like the Cubs against Skeens. I like them against velocity, and the whole thing with Skeens is if you can just use his speed to beat him, I mean, you can really do some great things. So
Yeah, I mean, other than
yeah,
Skeens, it's like who the Pirates have. They have like O'Neal Cruz.
the
That's about
Pirates
it.
are. Yeah, I mean, you almost have to feel bad for the Pirates at this point, but we don't. We don't because you can't feel bad for them.
Touche, Darren. 50 injured pitchers to our 47. I mean, we got one main injured pitcher. It's Justin
Yep.
Steele, but
Yeah.
Shota's going to be back in a couple weeks. Assad will be back soon. Let's
Yeah,
relax.
and we've
We do
gotten
not.
some good news on Shota too today as
Yeah,
well.
he
So
had a good bullpen or rehab start with the ACL Cubs yesterday.
mhm.
2 clean innings. I think Council said he's going to make at least 2 more rehab starts.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And as long as those go well and there's no setbacks, I would imagine by the end of June, he's back with the Cubs, and they need him, man. They need their ace back.
They need Shota.
We need Shota bump days back.
Yeah,
badly.
talk about a workhorse, man. He can
Yeah.
go. He could give you some complete games. which is rare in the sport nowadays. So got to get them back. And, overall, you got to win this. You got to win this series. This is a big series, and it started out on a really awful note yesterday, and you can really just turn things around tomorrow with, like I said, a quick turnaround. And I'm excited. I personally, selfishly, I love day games, and I hate that on Mondays and Tuesdays, like, there's just no day games in baseball. I don't know if you've noticed. I just hate that so much. I'm like, come on, man, just give me one. Like, I just want one day game. That's all I ask for. And you don't get it till later in the week. But once you're like deep into the week, you start to get those early games, and it's awesome. And the Cubs are one of them tomorrow. 12:05.
12:05, baby.
Yep. So
Ben Brown, please strike out 1 million Phillies tomorrow. That'd be nice.
Yes, please. Ben Brown, be the good Ben Brown that we know that you can be. Rich, any final thoughts on either of the games today, yesterday, how the series plays out? Any final thoughts?
It was a really fun game today. Love seeing multiple home runs. Michael Busch is him. Yeah, we just need the good version of Ben Brown tomorrow. Please get to Luzardo early. Prove that this is not a fluke and maybe he's hurt or something. I don't know. Just get to him early. Get to the bullpen because the Phillies bullpen is not that great. Score a lot of runs against the Phillies tomorrow. Do not let Kyle Schwarber hit a home run. I don't know why that image will not get out of my head, but if it happens tomorrow, I am Nostradamus. Yeah, clip it. We're gonna put that up. I'm a god. No. But yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
Fuck the Phillies, fuck the Cardinals.
It's awesome. Yeah, my final thoughts are just go win. That's it. Short, sweet, and simple. Win. I'm so used to winning as a Cubs fan this year that I effing hate losing. Don't lose. Please don't lose. Especially series losses. They are so painful. And I don't want to experience that pain while I'm working at my job. And I think no one wants to do that. So it's already hard enough to go to work. But
there's nothing worse than leaving work and the Cubs have already lost the game.
It's the worst.
Don't want that. PCA and Tucker are going to turn it on tomorrow, says Darren. I freaking hope so. PCA.
Heck yeah, Darren. PCA is my dinger pick. It's a spoiler, and I don't care because anyone that has the chance to pick a dinger pick should pick PCA after going 0 for 5 today, because that's just not going to happen tomorrow.
You know what? Just for that, Darren, I'm picking Kyle Tucker tomorrow as well. We're picking your guys. I like the Kyle Tucker matchup. Lefty on lefty. He usually hits. He's hit a few dingers against left-handed pitchers this year.
Going with the lefties. I love it. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Just a reminder, Cubs on Tap is just one of the on tap pieces of content that we have. We have Bulls, Bears. You have friends. We have friends. White Sox coverage as well. We have great golf coverage. Just go support us. Go to ontapsportsnet.com. Awesome articles. We have great writers, and we have great podcasts as well. Just go listen to our content, support, follow all the guys. We have all of our handles are in our podcast descriptions. Follow us, retweet, do all the things. We enjoy interacting with you guys, and we enjoy just being a part of the community and getting to spread the Chicago sports, because it is a blessing to be a Chicago sports fan. Some say it's a curse, but at the end of the day, it is a blessing. Rich, this has been very fun. I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow. What do you say we get out of here the only way we know how?
Fuck the Cardinals. Fuck the Brewers. Let's go Cubs, baby.
And fuck the Phillies too. Let's go Cubbies.
For good measure.